Mr. Cassell, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, we're here with the author of A Lady's Heart and Soul, My Life as a Colored, Negro, Black, and African American, Clifton Castile. Welcome, Mr. Castile.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
What prompted you to write this book, and why this title?
Well, I'd met this lady who had been through so much adversity. She'd been through so much difficulties in her life, and she was such an inspiration to so many. She decided that, hey, I'm going to give back everything that I can to society. And her life was just an unbelievable journey. And the reason I gave it this title is because I think of women, and most of the time ladies who have gone through so much and they use their heart and their soul. So I just said a lady's heart and soul, all the struggle that she went through. Now, the poet, My Life as a Colored, Negro, Black, and African American, is because she said that she had journeyed all her life, and she went from one race to another name, and she started out as a colored person, then the name was given Negro, and then the name Black and African American.
All right, you're an educational researcher and writer. Why write a realistic historical biography novel such as A Lady's Heart and Soul?
Well, I really hadn't planned on writing this here. As you said, most of mine are publications in the field of education. But after I met her, she inspired me so much. And there were a lot of young ladies I thought that need to hear her story. And I decided that, hey, I will do everything I can to get her message out there so they can look at her as a role model.
Mr. Castile, may you please give us an overview of A Lady's Heart and Soul, and also, who is Annie Howard?
Annie is the lady who I'm writing about, who was born in Idabel, Oklahoma in the 30s during Jim Crow, violent racism and hatred. And so she lived there for a while before she left. Overview of this would be a lady that was determined to fulfill her dreams no matter what it was. She determined that she would not let gender or her race or where she came from determine who she is and where she ended up.
You've told me before that this book was extremely emotional for you. You cried as you wrote some part of the story. Why is that?
Well, it was so emotional because of what she went through and some of the things that I have gone through. And I actually lived with her as she went through this journey from one phase of her life to the latter part of her life, the twilight part of her life. And it became so emotional. As a matter of fact, some of the things that she went through, I developed the same things, and as far as her ailments, I went through that. I got so involved in it, the tears would come. It took me about 4 years to complete this book because it was so gut-wrenching. I would just stop, the tears would come, I couldn't sleep because of what she went through, and it was just so touching. And I never knew that you could get that involved with your characters, but I saw a lot of writers did get emotional when they were illustrating their book and their story.
Who was the story meant for? And when I say this, I mean, what was the story? Who was your story aimed?
It was aimed, I thought at first, and people say it should be aimed at everybody, but it was for young mothers or young ladies, and predominantly I thought of maybe African Americans, but I think it's a book, biography, and it's realistic at that, for anyone who is going through any type of adversity or who felt like giving up or giving in and not completing their journey.
May I please read a significant review concerning your novel?
Sure.
Well, this is from the Tom Denny Literary Book Festival in New Orleans. And The comment reads, A Lady Heart and Soul is a story of inspiration about never giving up, a novel that should be required reading for every person, young and old, who has ever thought about giving up on a dream or feeling life has offered nothing but numerous setbacks. You will cry with Annie, cheer for her to win, and wish every dream could be realized. How do you feel about the statement?
Oh, I think it's very generous. I think a number of reviews were very high on the book, and a lot of them did tell me that I should not underscore that the book should be for girls or young girls. It could be for men too. Anyone who struggles through life and not sure where they're going to end up and not being able to utilize everything they have in their soul.
Well, it's amazing that you're doing this because, again, there's people in the world that don't know which path to choose, and they're just so confused, and sometimes they don't want to reach out for help. They feel like they're trapped in a little box when it comes to stuff like this, and they don't reach out for help, so they keep it all in, and it just makes it so hard to go on, and giving up is so easy. Once you give up once, it's just a repetitive path. You give up once and it makes it easier for the next time and the next time and the next time. And for her to be able to come out on top of all this is truly amazing.
You know, you said it perfectly. I couldn't have said it any better.
Would you like to read a few excerpts from your novel?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Let's see, I wrote some down here rather than read directly from the novel. I'm going to go through the first trial and uncertainty that Anne Hollingworth went through. And this was at one of her low points when I read this, and I'm going to quote her here. She says, "How long, God? How long must I endure so much suffering, so much pain? Have I not tried to be a good person? I ask not that you explain the pain, but that you end my suffering. Haven't I been given so much tragedy? I didn't ask for that. So much heartaches, so much hatred have come my way. I have tasted evilness and disrespect. How much love and devotion do you need from me, God, to make me happy? And God, I do wonder if you have lost your dominance. You are not that powerful anymore. It doesn't seem that to me." Let me read some more to you, if that's it. May I read some more?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when Anne was going through all this turmoil and tragedy and uncertainty, she also decided, I need to take control of my thoughts, my soul. And she wrote this affirmation to herself to inspire her. She said, "Late one night, I wrote a short affirmation in my diary to help keep my spirit lifted. Life, I know not what you will offer me, but I demand that you serve me well. I will not let you draw a circle and shut me out. I will look for tranquility and direction in myself, in people, behind rocks, and in far-off places. When I fall, I will not let gravity hold me down. I'll upright myself and stand as tall as a Georgia pine tree. And as many times as I fall, I will get back up. And I will be overcognizant that your life never promised me that you would be fair. And you never told me that you'd give me a fighting chance. But you have allowed me to live in you, and for that reason, I'm eternally grateful. I've concluded that I do not live in the world lives in me. But believe me, I will grow from my pains and missteps. Yes, I know this won't be easy as I state life, but I feel there's nothing that will defeat me if I try. And I know how to fight. This much I can guarantee." May I continue to read some more excerpts? Okay. This is when Annie said, I think I found my way. She's now happier than what she had been. We're moving forward in her journey. And she talks, this is a little romantic, she talks to her boyfriend at this time, and she says, The only light in the front room were from 2 single light bulbs on a tarnished pole. By the 7th song, my boyfriend and I were dancing so close that a cardiologist would have trouble distinguishing separate heartbeats. And if I'd have pulled him any closer to my 5'4" frame, I'd have been on the other side of him. My small hips were moving like a slow spinning top. But to my chagrin, he didn't attempt to help stir the pot of hot stew. Neither did he sense that I was becoming as charged as a live wire. I think I wanted him to make love to me more than ever. Nonetheless, hoping to help my own case, I grabbed him and stuck my tongue so far down his throat that air couldn't enter. I believe I could feel him choking and grasping for oxygen. And I couldn't understand why he could not understand me. I suppose deep in my mind, I needed to know how it would feel to make love to someone you really love and they love you back. All right, I'm going to continue with some more if that's okay. I don't know how many more questions you have. Now, this is when Annie was in a very depressed mood. She was just really ready to give up in life. She was 21 years old. Everything was just going backwards for her. No matter what she tried, tragedy was come, whether it's to her or to her friends. So she's on a bus at this time on her way to Atlanta from Idabel, Oklahoma. So on there, everything is segregated. So there was a white man who was sitting in front of her, and actually he was sitting in the as you put it, the colored section, and he saw that she was depressed. And here's what he said to her: "Young lady, God has given you more than you can realize or even see. He has given you the ability to withstand man's vile and immoral ways. Yet, in some given ways, colored people have more fortitude than us white people. But know that all people experience overwhelming pain and raw grief that seems to never end, so much so that one feels like giving up, giving in, and not wanting to witness another sunrise. And at some point in every man's journey, life breaks him into many large and small pieces and reduces him to grains of sand. Young lady, you had no control over where you came from or your environment that you were born into or your race. It just so happened that you were born into a race that some people hate or show little tolerance for. However, you do have control over your happiness and, what is more importantly, where you end up and what you do with your life and your gift that God gave you. I urge you to dig deep into your precious soul for salvation and strength, and find the will to go forward in a sea of confusion and doubt. If you do, you will find solitude, goals and dreams will be realized. Where there's hatred, you will find love, and where there is turmoil and ignorance, you will gain wisdom. And when there is doubt and uncertainty, you will develop courage. This is a beautiful world. I ask you not to give in to despair and self-pity, or surely they will be your enemy for life. Be at peace with your soul and with others. And remember, happiness is a state of one's mind. Happiness is a moral decision that we must make. People who decide to be happy want others to be happy and to be just like them, even if it's by default. Now go with God's grace. It will forever be with you."
And I find that him even stepping up and saying anything to her was just amazing, because even back then, when there were segregated things and everything, everybody had always had this tension between the races, but for that man to step up and actually speak to her while he saw she was down, and she saw that she wasn't looking like she had even any fight in her, like she looked like she was on the edge of it. For him to say anything, it was just amazing.
I think you could say it was faith that intervened here. And it's like some force out there know that she needed to be motivated to continue her journey in life. I have some more scenes for you here.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is more of a romantic part of this story. And she's with someone she really cares about. And she's met him after a long aptness that they had endured. So I'm going to read this to you. And the name of this particular chapter is I Need Love Tonight and I Don't Need Tomorrow. And she's talking to her boyfriend at this point. Let me prove to you how much I love and need you right now, at this very moment. And she says, I wasn't sure what I was doing. And she continues, how can I say this? Tonight, I want to show you how much I love you. I want you to share my bed. And tonight, and more than I can say, I'm yours, body, heart, and soul. And she goes on to say, sweetheart, listen to my pleas. I need love tonight. I don't need money, and I certainly don't need forever. My heart needs your love more than it needs blood. And my mind needs your love more than I need wisdom of hope. Baby, I'm like a rose that need water and nourishment, and I need it from you at this moment. My eyes have welled, my heart began to flutter uncontrollably. And she goes on, please give me the kind of love I have always wanted from you. And she says, baby, please take all the love I have to give to you tonight. But she had a type of lover, I should say, and he didn't want to take advantage of her. She had been through so much, and he thought this was one of the points in her life that she just wasn't sure what she wanted, but she thought she knew what she wanted. Let me see here. Now, here's another I'd like to read to you if I can.
Yes, sir.
And she says here, this is another, I guess, romantic scene. She says, I can't believe this is real. I can't believe it's you, my love. I can't believe you're mine. Here, eye to eye, heart to heart, body to body, and emotions to emotions. She says, my heart quickly swelled. And she continued, don't close your eyes tonight. Just look at me, and you'll see how many times I wish for this happiness. That is, the happiness that's right before me. The night creatures knew how many times I cried myself to sleep without you. Sometimes my dreams were so vivid that I was forced to cry out in earnest pleasure, only to have the early morning eclipse my homemade dreams. I begged and pleaded with God to let them be real. My dreams were my warm, soft blanket on cold, dreary nights. But now, my precious love, there will be no more fantasies, no more surreal nights. Honey, I'm asking that you take me into your arms and make passionate love to my starving heart.
Well, I don't want you to give too much away from your book.
Yeah.
But do you have at least one more essay first?
Yeah, I have. Let me read a couple of them if we have time.
All right.
Do we have time?
Let's see. We have 8 minutes actually.
Okay. Here's a good one that a friend of hers said about her. And this is when the end is already near. And she says, Annie has something special, something rare inside of her. Thus we refer to it as it. Maybe it was rare. Maybe it was a chemical or special organ, but she reached out to everybody, and most people loved her. But whatever it was, we wish more of mankind contained that special it. Now I'm going to read this here, which she wrote in the, when she was giving a speech, when she became, and I don't want to give too much away, a role model. And she says this, and I think this is very inspirational. And she says, life is a banquet full of the fruits that you will need to fulfill your dreams. Just take what you need. If you determine the fruits were not for you, you can always return and choose something else from the banquet table of plenty. Always banish your imagination, which is more valuable than knowledge, because your imagination is unlimited. However, your knowledge is limited. Each day of your life offers new hope, beginnings, and challenges, while old difficulties are permanently put to rest. Learn to control your negative emotions and always believe in yourself, and give faith a fighting chance. If you know who you are, where you want to go, and how you will get there, then you will employ self-discipline, which is everything. If you can't find the circumstances that you desire or want, then make the circumstance. When you love and respect yourself, you will employ this to others, even by default. Self-hatred is a moral sin. Please never hate yourself. It will destroy your soul. You may not have a lot inside of you, but you are unique. So do the best that you can with what you've been given. That's all life wants from you. Love yourself. However, don't be in love with yourself, or you won't leave enough for others to love. Allow no one to force you to file bankruptcy against your morals or your dreams. It will take too many years to restore your dreams. And young people, remember this: self-discipline is a key to having a successful and loving life. The way you look at misfortunes will determine how you solve your problems. Trust that unique something inside of you to bring happiness and success as you journey through life. Listen to those who came before you. Their wisdom is precious. Never look down upon another person. Every person you meet will be your teacher, and he will also be your student. When all is said and done, this is a beautiful world.
And that's why I asked the question at the beginning of who was the story aimed at, and when you said it was for both men and women, I understand, because that message that was just said, that goes for anybody. Self-discipline and knowing who you are and never shy away from who you are. That's a lesson for any gender, any person, child, man. Like, I feel like everybody can take from it.
You're so correct. And she did go on to give a good demonstration of self-discipline. If you notice a little boy, a girl, a child, and to show you how much discipline they have, and they probably don't even know it. If you give them a slice of cake, what they'll do is remove the icing first, and they'll eat the part that they don't care that much, which is the regular cake, and then they'll eat that. So what Ann is saying here, use self-discipline. Get rid of the things you don't want to do first, and then the others will be really nice. But don't do the things you like first. Then you'll never do those things you don't like.
We're running short on time. We can fit in one more excerpt.
Okay. How about this one here? I think you'll like this one here. And she's in her hometown right now. And I think this is really nice, and I'll try to get through it real quickly. After we walked outside, I jumped on his back and rode his back for nearly a block. And I fell down, spilling everything. And I said to myself, I think I found my way. And it seemed so easy and so wonderful. I know who I am now, what I want to be, and I want to be everything that I can. This is something I think if you're from a small town, and I'm going to try to rush through this, as I said before. Christmas decoration, and this was near Christmas time. Christmas decoration lit up the colored neighborhood as if it were daylight. Nearly every family in town had some type of Christmas display, and these families who couldn't afford gifts wrapped empty boxes and filled them with hope, faith, and love, and then placed them under the tree. Each Christmas, snow or sleet, Widow Cheney decorated a pine tree in front of her yard, where she hung hundreds of holiday birds that adorned the entire tree, and they withstood snow and rain. At night, she would hang a kerosene lamp so people could see it, And when I was young, I swear I could hear those birds singing and swaying in the soft, gentle breeze, and they were saying, "Tweet, tweety, tweety, I love Miss Johnson." She also displayed a gingerbread cake and so forth like this. And I think that says a lot there, the way people did. They didn't have a lot of money to give. Remember, this is in the 40s, the 30s, and they were poor. It wasn't that much people could do except for pick cotton and maybe haul hay or pick cucumbers. So instead of having gifts, what they did is they just told someone, "I put love in there for you." I can remember my parents telling me, "I'm going to give you a gift." And I said, "Okay, keep this box for the rest of your life." And I did. And one day I opened it. I said, "It's nothing in there." I kind of thought so. And I said, "Oh, wait a minute. It's hope, faith, inspiration, and so much more in that." And other families did that with their kids too.
And I have one more question for you.
Okay.
Where can we purchase a copy of your novel?
Oh, you can get this at Amazon ebook, or I think it's Kindle as an ebook on Amazon. It's $1.99.
All right, well, that's all the time that we have. Thank you, Mr. Christopher,
Sure.
for sharing this lovely book with us. And again, I'd like to say that me just hearing you talk about this, I feel like I have a connection with Ann already, and like I will be purchasing this book later on.
And it was very difficult for me, the ending too. Her life when it came to, and she wasn't bitter. She had memories. She said all people have memories, and memories keep us alive sometimes.